Tervetuloa Rapakanaalin Varrelle. Tänään meillä studiossa on minun lisäksi minä olen siis Jaakko Kuusisto. Ja tänään meillä on mukana tässä lähetyksessä myös Olli Nevala ja Antti Mäkinen. Ensinnäkin Olli, tervetuloa mukaan.
Kiitoksia ja tervetuloa kuulijoille ja mukava taas höpistä täällä jalkapallosta. Ja tosiaan Tyler Reid, Jaron puolustaja, oli tänään täällä meidän grillattavana ja hyvin sympaattinen nuori herra tosiaan oli käymässä ja hyvin mielenkiintoinen haastattelu luvassa, että kannattaa pysyä kuulolla.
Ja Antti, tervetuloa myös mukaan.
Joo, kiitos, mukava olla.
Semmoinen asia tähän alkuun varmaan, että me ollaan saatu aika paljon palautetta ja meillä oli ensimmäinen jakso, tuli tuossa viime viikolla ulos ja siinä on yllättävänkin. Me ollaan positiivisesti yllättyneitä siitä, että paljonko meillä on ollut kuuntelijoita ja kuinka moni on jakson kuunnellut. Niin antakaa palautetta ja sitä saa tosiaan laittaa meille vaikka Instagramista, Facebookissa tai missä nyt vaan. Me luetaan myös futisfoorumia, vaikka nikkejä ei paljastellakaan. Jaron tämän kauden joukko, että me voidaan käydä sitten tulevissa jaksoissa vähän enemmän läpi ja ajattelen, että otetaan sille ihan oma osionsa. Mutta miltä Olli sun mielestä Jaron joukko tällä hetkellä näyttää?
Joukko tulee todennäköisesti olemaan aika erilainen kuin viime kaudella ja ihan jo sen takia, kun valmentaja on vaihtunut ja hänen lähestymistapansa tulee todennäköisesti olemaan erilainen kuin menneellä kaudella. Joukkue on erittäin mielenkiintoinen. Siinä on löydetty mielenkiintoisia hankintoja. Se on sopiva sekoitus kokemusta ja nuoruutta. Se antaa mahdollisuuksia pelata eri tavoilla. Se on, odotan innolla kauden alkua. Tähän asti pelithän on ollut vähän kaksijakoisia, on ollut hyviä pelejä, on ollut vähän heikompia pelejä, mutta niistä nyt ei kauhean pitkälle meneviä johtopäätöksiä pysty vetämään, että jää nähtäväksi, mikä se joukkueen lopullinen iskukyky on, mutta mielenkiintoinen paketti on saatu kasaan.
Mitäs mieltä Antti on tästä tilanteesta, missä tällä hetkellä ollaan?
No joo, tietysti tämä on hyvin poikkeuksellinen talvi, kun ei ole tullut muuta kuin nähtyä ne pelit, mitä TV:stä tai ylipäätään se striimin on ollut mahdollista nähdä. Et yleensä tähän aikaan talvesta on tullut nähtyä aika paljon enemmän. Myöskin harjoituksia tällä hetkellä se ei ole mahdollista, niin on tosi vaikea arvioida. Plus sen takia, että kun eihän Jaro kertaakaan ole pelannut vielä sillä esimerkiksi semmoisella parhaalla avauskokoonpanolla, mitä nyt suurin piirtein voi tässä vaiheessa kuvitella, että kun ei pelattu ollut vielä paikalla. Mutta kyllä mä saman asian poimisin, mitä Olli tuossa jo sivusi, että huolimatta siitä, että Jaro on pelannut tämän talven tosi nuorella jengillä, niin oikeastaan se kokoonpano, mikä sitten kesällä tulee olemaan, tai kun kausi alkaa, mikä tulee olemaan, niin se on yllättävän kokenut. Et siellä on monta 30 jätkää, ja esimerkiksi jos ajattelee jotakin Juuso Aaltoa, joka ei ole paljon vielä pystynyt pelaamaan, niin hän on kokenut hyvän tason ykkösen pelaaja. Mä uskon, tai oikeastaan on niin, että hyvin harvoin Jaro on tämmöisiä pelaajia Suomen sisällä hankkinut, niin mun mielestä tuo on ollut kiva nähdä.
Tuossa Olli mainitsikin, että tosiaan valmennus vaihtunut. Niklas Tsekku, johon eilen törmäsin lenkillä niin hänen tilalleen tuli Jimmy Vari. Ei Jimmy Walk, kuten jossain Myllykoskella aikoinaan sanottiin, vaan hän on tosiaan Jimmy Vari. niin Jimmy ja hänen kakkosvalmentajansa pelaaja, voi sanoa jopa suomalaisella mittakaavalla pelaajalegenda, Pavle Milošević. Paki tuo varmaan aika vähän erityyppisen Jaron ensikaudella kentälle kuin mitä Tsekun aikana. Oletteko huomannut näissä aikaisemmissa peleissä, tai peleissä, mitä tähän mennessä on pelattu, niin oletteko huomannut mitään muutoksia?
On huomattu, ja kuten tuossa viittasin, että lähestymistapa on hiukan erilainen, ja uskoisin, että Jaro tulee pelaamaan aavistuksen kontrolloidummin ja hiukan ehkä puolustavammin kuin mitä aikaisemmin, että varsinkin viime kaudella hyökättiin aika railakkaasti ja mentiin aika rajusti eteenpäin. Et siinä uskoisin, että tullaan näkemään ero.
Miten Antti?
Joo, kyllä mä oon kanssa ollut ainakin näkevinäni sitä eroa, että jos miettii vaikka sitä KuPS-Jaro-peliä, se harjoitusottelu, minkä ensimmäisen puolen Jaro oli todella hyvä, niin jos mä semmoisen Jaron kesällä näen, niin kyllä se näyttää hyvältä, että se oli hyvin kontrolloitu, pelaajat tiesi hyvin, että milloin prässätään ja kuinka korkealta prässätään niin ylipäätään se puolustaminen oli hyvin kontrolloitu, että siinä ei tullut semmoinen olo, että jos vaikka KuPS pääsi ensimmäisen prässin alta pois, että sitten koko Jaron paketti oli auki, että se näytti hyvältä. Mutta totta kai sitten, kun Olli sanoi, että onhan siellä ollut huonompiakin esityksiä, mikä on kauhean luonnollista, että kun ei vielä koko joukkue ollut kasassa ja sitten toisaalta pelat on vähän eri vaiheessa tässä vaiheessa kautta. Mutta yksi hyvä kysymys on esimerkiksi se, että mitä nähtiin nyt viime lauantaina SIK Akatemiaa vastaan, niin Jaro pelasi 3 topparilla ja sitten oli wingbackit, niin Jimmy Vari ainakin sitten ÖT:n haastattelussa sanoi pelin jälkeen, että hän näkee, että Jaron kokoonpano, niin se sopii ehkä paremmin siihen, että pelataan 3 topparilla, niin en mä tiedä, miten te näette. Mun mielestä se on aika hyvä vaihtoehto, mitä te ajattelette?
No, tämä oli just se, mitä meidän seuraavaksi nostaa esille, että Guillermo Sotelo ja Tyler Reid tuolla laidoilla, niin se tavallaan huutaa sitä, että tuo joukko pelaa 3 puolustajalla ja sitten nousevilla wingbackeilla. Että Sotelon ominaisuudet kaikki nyt tietävät ja Tyler Reid omien sanojensa mukaan, niin ne on nimenomaan tuolla hyökkäyspäässä on myös hänen vahvuutensa. Niin kyllähän se niin kuin tavallaan huutaa sitä kolmen puolustuslinjaa ja nousevia laitapakkeja. Miten Olli näet sen, miten tuo Jaron joukkue muuten sopisi ehkä semmoiseen pelitapaan?
Kyllähän tuo materia antaa siihen vallan loistavat mahdollisuudet ja ehkä jopa paremmat kuin mitä siihen 4 linjaan, jossa olisi sitten niin kuin enemmän tai puhtaammat laitahyökkääjät sitten, että tosiaan niin nousevien laitapuolustajien rooliin on nuo sinun mainitsemat kaverit, jotka sopii siihen rooliin erinomaisesti ja tosiaan se on ilman muuta etu, että Jimmyllä on mahdollisuus käyttää useampaa systeemiä, että pelaajat siihen kyllä löytyy.
Mitä Antti? Niin, sano vaan.
Joo, ei meinasin vaan sanoa, että mä luulisin, että yksi, mikä siihen vaikuttaa myöskin se, että jos miettii vaikka, että keskikentän pohjalle on 3 luonnollista hyvän tason ykkösen pelaajaa, kun siellä on Toro, Grunholm ja Byyskata, niin heitä on aika vaikea saada samaan aikaan avauksia, mikäli ei pelata 3 topparilla, jolloin Byyskata sitten siirtyisi toppariksi.
Jos ajatellaan tätä tällä hetkellä olevaa tilannetta, tietysti joukkue voi vielä muuttua, mutta missä te näette, yksi asia molemmilta, niin missä te näette Jaron suurimmat haasteet tällä hetkellä?
On ehkä liian aikaista sanoa, että onko se haaste, koska en tiedä kaverista kovin paljon, mutta tuo hyökkäysosasto toki niin on ehkä jonkunmoinen kysymysmerkki vielä, eli McCauley, Chrysanthus, hänen iskukyvystään en vielä osaa sanoa. CV on kohtuullisen kova, mutta viime vuodet ei välttämättä ole mennyt ihan putkeen, mutta annetaan kaverin näyttää ja katsotaan, että mihin se sitten riittää, että se on ehkä se suurin kysymysmerkki, että mitä nyt tässä äkkiseltään tulee mieleen.
Niin, onko Antilla jotain muita mielipiteitä?
Kyllä mä varmaan joudun Olli ja Peesata valita tuon varman vaihtoehdon, mutta siis johtuen ihan siitä, että kun ei oikeastaan ole semmoista käsitystä, että minkälainen pelaaja Chrysanthus loppujen lopuksi on. Totta kai videoilta pystyy vähän päättelemään ja jos hän on sellainen kuin mitä hän parhaimmillaan uransa aikana ollut, niin sitä on niin kuin erinomainen hankinta. Mutta se, että mikä on se tämän hetken vire, niin sitähän on ihan mahdotonta sanoa, että hän nyt pelasi sen puolituntisen suurin piirtein tuolla Seinäjoella lauantaina ja teki maalin, mutta ei siitä nyt pysty oikeastaan sanomaan vielä mitään, mutta kyllähän se paljon tuohon nivoutuu, että miten hyvin hän onnistuu. Ja sitten ehkä toinen, jos nyt haluaa jonkun toisen pointin nostaa esiin, niin on sitten ehkä se kysymysmerkki, että riittääkö meillä yksinkertaisesti laita hyökkääjiä, että siellä on esimerkiksi Remesaho ja Haaglund, jotka varmasti hyvin pystyy pelaamaan, mutta jos jompikumpi loukkaantuu, niin onko siellä sitten materiaalia sen jälkeen, niin se on ehkä se toinen, mitä tässä vaiheessa voisi nostaa esiin.
Niin, siellä on Albin Björkskog, joka on pelannut loistavasti tässä talven aikana niin kuin vielä nousemassa mukaan siihen keskusteluun. Vielä ennen kuin mennään tuohon Reidin haastatteluun, niin kaksikko Benjamin Östman, Marcel Vari. Heillä on tänä vuonna nyt niin kuin ison stepin mahdollisuus, sanotaanko näin. Niin minkälaiset te näette heidän mahdollisuudet tuossa Jaron ensi kauden joukkueessa?
He ovat varmaan käyttökelpoisia kavereita molemmat, mutta varsinkin siihen niin kuin keskikentän pohjalle niin kuin on aika lailla tungosta, että se jää sitten nähtäväksi, paljon sitä vastuuta tulee heille. Toki Marcel voi pelata myös topparina.
Ja Benna laitahyökkäjänä.
Kyllä. Että vaikea sanoa, että en osaa tuohon näin sanoa, että tosiaan että ehkä heidän pahaksi onnekseen he ovat sitä osastoa, johon on eniten tungosta ehkä tuossa Jaro-materiaalissa.
Mitäs sitten Antille sitten heitän semmoisen pallon ilman, että Jaron puolustuslinja nojaa pitkälti Johan Brunelliin ja hänen tervehtymiseensä. Ja on ollut upeata nähdä se, että Jukki on takaisin tullut ja päässyt pelaamaan tai tullut takaisin pelikuntoon, mutta paljon hänelle ladataan tuohon noin puolustuslinjan toimintaan.
Se on täsmälleen näin, että ensinnäkin täytyy sanoa samaa, mitä sinä, että kyllä harvoin tulee niin hyvä fiilis nähdä yksi vaihto harjoituspelissä, kun näki lauantaina, että Jukki tuli kentälle, että kyllä se todella niin kuin lämmitti sydäntä. Mutta kyllä se on näin, että kyllä siihen on paljon ladattu, mutta toisaalta niin kuin me kaikki tiedetään, että sikäli kun Jukki on kunnossa, niin hän kyllä lunastaa ne odotukset, ja jos miettii sitä kamalan loukkaantumista, mikä hän on käynyt läpi, niin pienempi riski tuommoisella vammalla uusiutua on kuitenkin kuin se, että olisi vaikka sitten polvi hajonnut. Et siinä mielessä niin kuin on aika luottavainen itse, kun vaan nyt maltetaan alkuun olla sitten riittävän niin kuin varovaisia sen kanssa, ja mikään kiire ei ole tässä vaiheessa, kun ei nyt ylipäätään tiedetä, että missä vaiheessa kausi alkaa. Ja Jukin tärkeys nousee myöskin siinä esiin, että Jaron joukkue on aika pieni kokonen, ja Jukin on senkin takia, niin kun hänellä on isot saappaat kyllä siinä täytettävänä.
Meillä olisi tässä niin kuin mahdollisuus keskustella kuinka paljon tuosta Jukin tärkeydestä ja ennen kaikkea siitä, että varmasti ollaan kaikkia Pietarsaari ja koko jalkapallo oleva Suomi on aivan äärettömän onnellinen siitä, että Jukki on nähnyt sen valtavan duunin ja tullut takaisin ja ollaan kyllä varmasti kaikki tosi iloisia siitä. Mutta meillä rupeaa aika loppumaan, me pudotetaan Antti nyt pois kelkasta ja siirrytään Ollin kanssa Tyler Reidin haastatteluun. Kiitos Antti. Tästä jo jatketaan ensi viikolla, otetaan jotain mukavia aiheita ja sitten rupotellaan lisää.
Kiitoksia.
Joo, ja me oltiin tosiaan Ollin kanssa haastattelin Tyler Reidia tuossa noin. Minkälainen kaveri Tyler Reid oli?
Oli, kuten taisit tuossa sanoa, niin erittäin sympaattinen nuori herra ja hänen taustansa on erittäin mielenkiintoinen ja hän hyvin avoimesti kertoi urastaan ja mikä ei välttämättä ole mennyt suunnitelmien mukaan ja tosiaan, että mitä hän tekisi ehkä toisella tavalla, jos voisi tehdä nämä valinnat uudestaan ja oli erittäin antoisa juttuhetki hänen kanssaan että jäi hyvä fiilis kaverista.
Näillä puheilla me ei enää tuon haastattelun jälkeen mitään tähän lähetykseen enää puhuta, mutta näillä puheilla niin mennään kuuntelemaan, mitä miettii, että Tyler Reidillä Jaron uudella brittihankinnalla on. Kiitoksia ainakin meikäläisen puolesta.
Kiitos.
Tervetuloa jälleen Rapakanaalin Varrelle. Tänään meillä on Ollin kanssa haastatellaan. Meillä on erikoishaastattelussa tänään. Täällä on uusi laitapuolustaja Tyler Reid.
Tervetuloa minunkin puolestani ja kuten Jakko tuossa sanoi, niin tänään on tosiaan Tyler Reid vieraana ja tämä haastattelu tullaan siitä syystä tekemään englanniksi, kun on englanninkielinen vieras paikalla. Niin.
Mä oon ottanut ainakin oppia Tommi Mäkisestä nyt, että rallienglantia tänään vedetään sitten ihan huolella.
Kyllä, rallienglantia tullaan kuulemaan tänään. Yes, welcome Tyler to our show.
Thank you.
And I guess our listeners don't know that much about you. So how would you describe yourself as a person and as a footballer?
Who are you?
Start as a person. I seem quite hard-faced. Maybe sometimes I have a straight face all the time. Don't look fun, but I'm completely opposite. I like to have fun. Even though we can't go out right now, I like to go out and do things. I play a lot of Warzone right now, and a lot of time, like away from football, a lot of time goes like towards like PlayStation. But apart from that, it's like there's nothing really else to do. But me as a footballer, I like to play one-on-one.
Mm.
I feel that's a strength of mine. Quick, powerful, like to get forward, like to see myself as a good defender. Decent in the air, and can deliver a good cross when it comes to it. So hopefully I can assist the team and maybe score some goals as well.
So you fit quite well here in Finland, because we are also we are not so funny people.
Yeah. No, I like Finland so far because it's different to what I've been used to. I've been living in places where a lot's going on.
Yeah.
Over here, it's just nothing. It's a good place to get your head down and just like focus on what you need to do.
Yeah.
No distractions. You can just basically dedicate your time to football. That's what I came here to do. So it's good.
Yeah, especially now in Corona times, it's definitely not that much to do. Yeah, you come from Luton, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much the only things I know about it is the football club, and then there's an airport that many budget airlines use. Is there anything else that people should know about your hometown?
Luton's not too big. It's a place where a lot of people know a lot of people. It's just outside of London, so a lot of people that are from Luton usually venture to London and like to do things and stuff.
Yeah.
But Luton as a town, it's not really like there's not a lot you can do there. It's not like it's a bit bigger than this, but it's not like London, big cities. So there's not much really to Luton.
Yeah. So you started your career in Luton as well.
Yeah. Started my career at Luton actually. And when I think the first time I kicked a ball, my mum's got a picture. It was like a few months after I started walking. And my dad was like, "Yeah, you're getting into football that quick." So I ended up going up to Luton by the time I was 6, I think. And when I was 7 or 8, I got scouted by Arsenal. And then at Arsenal, I got offered a contract. It's not a contract. It's like it's basically you get into Arsenal's academy.
Yeah.
For 2 years, I stayed there till I was 14, and then went to Manchester United. And when I went to Manchester United, I stayed there for 3 years until I was 17. Then went to Swansea. And when I went to Swansea, I had a few loans. Didn't work out as well as I wanted to. But ended up getting released from Swansea, going to Swindon. Didn't work out at Swindon. Ended up not having a fallout with the manager, but like along those lines, mutual agreement cut off, and I ended up going to Woking. It didn't suit my style of football. Woking, the ball was in the air a lot, and like I like to play on the floor, and that's why when the opportunity came about here, I was like, well, the first thing I said to my dad was like, how do they play? He was like, YouTube's there, go and look it up. So I went on YouTube. I like the way Yara play. A lot of it is on the floor. Obviously, it needs to go in the air sometimes, but like, yeah, the majority of the play is just to play, not just to hoof the ball as far as you can and run after it. So,
first thing what I was thinking to ask is that when you went from Luton to Arsenal, did you stay at home or did you have some apartment?
At Arsenal, my dad and mum did a lot for me, more so my dad. My dad used to come home from work from courts, and 10 minutes from coming in the house, he was gone again with me and my little brother. We used to train 3 times a week and then a game. So from Luton to London, it was round about an hour. With traffic, it could be a nightmare, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I appreciate what my parents did for me.
You said that you got scouted by Arsenal when you were 7-8 years old, so they scout 7-year-olds.
Yeah, it starts young, very young. Like, I think it's getting younger now. I think you could get scouted if you was playing on a park at 4. Seriously, it's getting scary now. Like the talent keeps getting younger. As you see, like in the Premier League, the youngest person that keeps playing is younger and younger and younger. More younger players are playing in the Premier League, whether it be from abroad or whether it be from England. So a lot of it's like the scouting system keeps getting younger. Even though I'm only 23, it kept getting younger even when I was getting older. So
you said that you went to Man United when you were like 14. Did you move to Manchester alone or?
No, my parents. Basically we had a choice. So I could have gone up alone, but my brother got scouted by them at the same time. So when I left Arsenal, my brother left Arsenal, and my brother was only 12. So my parents didn't want him to go up there by himself, not having his family around him. It could be difficult when you're 3.5 hours away. Knowing my brother's personality now, he wouldn't have cared. So, but they moved up. They moved up to a place called Wigan, and it's like maybe half an hour, 45 minutes away from Manchester. And we moved schools, everything. But my parents moved house just for the benefit of us to get an opportunity to play. So I appreciate it.
Do they still live in Wigan? Or?
Yeah, they do still live in Wigan now. They say they prefer the quieter life rather than being busy all the time in near London. So
Wigan, it's a rugby town.
Yeah.
Rugby league,
I don't even know how you know that, but yeah, it is.
I've been there actually, watching Wigan Athletic.
Yeah. I've actually lived in Manchester for a year, for a long time ago. So you mentioned your brother. He's playing in Walsall.
He's just left Walsall, but he was on loan at Walsall. But he's gone back to Birmingham now.
Okay. So he has a contract with Birmingham.
Yeah. He's my brother's gone pretty much on the same path as me. Pretty much. He went to Arsenal, but he started a bit late. He was a bit weird. He was interested in cars until the age of like 4. Then he started to look at football at 4, and then by 6 he was like, Dad, I want to play. I want to be like Tyler. I want to play like that. So he went to Arsenal, and they said to him, he's not ready yet. Get him into a what they call a park football team to get the grounds of like what your position sense, and then come back. A year later, he came back flying. So then from 8, he pretty much went on the same thing. By 12, he left with me to Manchester. We went to Manchester United. By 16, he left a year after I left to Swansea, and then from Swansea he got released from there to go to Birmingham, but he's made 4 championship appearances for the first team at Birmingham. This year he's just been going out on loan to get experience, but he's learned from mistakes that I've made, and he's doing a lot of what I should have been doing earlier than me. So,
but you mentioned that he learned from your mistakes. What do you want to?
I think I stayed in the academy system for too long.
Okay.
I didn't play men's football as early as I should have done, especially with the build that I have.
Yeah.
The build that I have was ready for men's football a lot earlier than what they put me out to.
Okay.
So my first men's football, knowing what men's football was about, was 20.
Okay.
My brother's only 19.
Yeah.
And I think he made his first appearance at 19.
Yeah.
At a higher level than what I did.
Yeah.
So he's working at a much quicker pace than I ever was.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of him for that.
Is it that the big clubs, they want to keep the players in their books as long as possible, or?
It's hard to say. Like, there's some players that they push towards the first team, and there's some players that they push sort of, but they don't want them to go out on loan. And I was one of them players, so I was stuck in like the middle. I was training with the first team, but not training with the first team. Then I was playing with the academy team, but like I didn't want to play with the academy team, but I wanted to play with the first team. Then I asked them to go out on loan numerous times, and it was like, in the eyes of the first team, you're this close, just stay. By the time you get to the end of your contract, it's too late. You've not proved anything, and you're not asking them the same questions that you should have been doing. Going out on loan, proving yourself, and being like, "Look, I'm ready," and then being able to move forward with your career quicker, which is what my brother's doing. So,
yeah,
you answered quite many questions what I was thinking to ask, but. As a overall, what do you think about the youth system in England? Do you see that it is working or not? Like,
well, the system in England.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard to say because as you see, there's a lot of players that do make it through, but there's still other players that believe they should make it through.
Yeah.
Me being one of them players, and don't. Yeah. It depends on how the club see you, how they push you, and that's why you see a lot of players moving abroad. Jadon Sancho was a good example.
Yeah.
He was at City, believed he should have played at City. He was like, no, going abroad. So he went to Borussia Dortmund. Now look at him.
Yeah.
So, like, there's some people see it early and have none of it. Yeah. Other people will take it, and I shouldn't have taken it. So I should have done this a lot sooner.
Yeah.
You've been to a few really big clubs like Arsenal and Man United, and I guess the demands on the guys are very high already in a young age.
Yeah.
How do you see it? Is it a good thing, or is it could it be different?
No, I wouldn't have it any different, because especially with to be fair with Arsenal as well, we have them. They have them training with the older groups like quite young, so they mix them together and makes them not only physically ready, mentally ready, but like technically ready, because obviously they've had 2 years more experience, a year more experience than you at the game. So you have to like adapt your mind quicker to the game. Manchester United exactly the same. They make you train with the old age group. When we were 16, we was training with the under 18s. They under 18s train with the under 21s. So there's loads of like you're always striving to do something in them academies. So the demands are with the older players, not so much the coaches. The coaches don't really demand much. They kind of let it slide. The players, if you're not doing something right, come on. But it's not like mean or like malicious. It's just they want the training session to run at the standard they want.
Yeah.
So it's just the way. That's just the way it is, and I've always thought if you train at a high standard and you put it in on the training ground, match day's easy. So I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I think in Man United you were coached by Nicky Butt, the former Man United player.
Yeah.
How would you describe him as a coach?
He's good as a coach. Knows the game that very well. He's obviously had a lot of experience, very good experience. So he brings that down to us, and like especially a lot of midfielders learn a lot from him. His role wasn't so much coaching when I was there.
Yeah.
His role was more almost academy manager. So, but he would sometimes he would come down and watch our training and then be like, "Hey, why don't you do this, do this, do this, do this, do this?" To like players that you see not struggling, but like he felt like he could help. But yeah, he's a good guy. He's the one that eventually let me go from Manchester United to Swansea, because I felt like there's no way I'm getting through here. I'm like 7th choice at 18, and where do you go from there? There's nowhere to go. You're just stuck in the academy stage. So I went to Swansea, but it didn't work out there. So
yeah, what do you think went wrong in Swansea?
I just stayed there for too long. I stayed in the academy for too long. That's all.
Yeah.
You were on loan in Newport.
Yeah.
Did you play your first games of senior football in Newport?
Yeah.
How was it?
The experience was so different. That's what made me realise why haven't I done this more. Because with Newport, you got the fans. I like the thrill. My first appearance was when I came on against Grimsby, and we was 1-0 up, and I came on at like right wing back, and it was just basically secure the win. So at the end of the game, we secured the win. I got congratulations for making my debut, and it felt good. With academy football, it's not like that. It's more, if you lost the game, does anyone care? Don't know. Like, it's kind of like meaningless. 3 points to a lot of people, especially in the lower leagues in England, means everything. It means they get to feed their kids that weekend, their families, bonuses, everything. It meant a lot. So when you win, everyone's happy. If you lose, not so happy.
Do you mean that in the academy the guys are playing more like individuals? They try to get forward as
not so much like there's a certain individuality to football.
Yeah.
As a whole, like sometimes you need to be that individual to make the team better. But not so much. No, it was more just like if you get 3 points in an academy level, what is your reward?
Yeah.
There's not much of a reward apart from winning. If you like winning, it's great. If you I don't know how to put it. It's kind of hard to put. It's almost a meaningless 3 points. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. No one really cares.
Yeah.
So that's why it's different from academy football to men's football.
Yeah. Do you want to take the next one? Because I have one after that.
Okay. I remember when I did some research on you, I read one interview where you said that in Man United, the Sir Alex Ferguson used to come to your game to watch your games, and you said that he sometimes took players aside and had a few words with them. It must have felt quite special in that age to have a chat with them.
He never actually spoke to me personally, but I know that the scout he said to a scout of mine that he liked me, he liked what I was doing, and then he left like a year later. But I was only 15, and but so what like see because he wouldn't actually stand at the side. You would see him behind the fence.
Okay.
So when you see him behind the fence, you was like, wait, is that? Yeah, I need to step it up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Put some pressure on him.
Yeah.
But it was a funny story.
After Newport, you went back to Swansea.
Yeah.
And then you signed for Swindon.
Mm-hmm.
How was that time in Swindon?
At that time, I knew that I put it on Swansea. I said, basically, you either play me in the first team, I need to be training with the first team every day, or I'm gone. And it was like, we've got 2 right backs at the moment. One of them was Connor Roberts, he plays for Wales' international team now. And one of them was Carl Norton. He used to play for Spurs, Sheffield United, I think. So he's played with a lot of good teams. Both good right backs. And they said, nah, we haven't got any space for you, you can go. So I went to Swindon. Swindon had aspirations to go up that year. And I didn't, it was between me and this guy called Robert Hunt. Hunt is a good player, very good player, both feet, can pass with both feet, can cross with both feet, shoot with both feet, good defender, athletic, can get up and down the pitch, and he had experience over me. And this is what I was talking about before, where the academy system let me down because I have no experience. I left Swansea with 7 appearances, 8 appearances of men's football. Hunty's had 100 plus. When it came to game day at the start of the pre-season, the manager at the time, Richie Redlands, pulled me to the side and was like, "Listen, I'm at the first game of the season in front of fans at Scunthorpe. I'm gonna go with Hunty." Hunty kicked on from there. He was one of the best players for the rest of the season, and I never really got a chance. And then the year after that, me and him had a fallout, and I ended up leaving on mutual consent. So, yeah.
That was 2020 or?
What, the leaving?
Yeah. You signed for 2 years and then you left after 1 year. In Man United, you played, for instance, with Marcus Rashford.
Mm-hmm.
Could you see already in a young age that he could do well?
Yeah, he was definitely like, if not the best, one of the best players in our age group and the age group above. So he had a lot of growing issues when I first joined. His knees and his back was messing up, and then he grew and got used to his size. From 17, 18, he kicked on. He flew. He was scoring goals at 18. Then went to the 21s. Was coming on here and there. But he was definitely like one of the best players I've played with, if not the best.
Same age, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's playing the same position as you are.
Yeah.
Is he the best right wing back in the world at the moment?
I don't know. He's going through a tough time at the moment, I know that. But especially last season, his passing, like you can't say anything about. Where people criticise him in England is where when he defends. But he's definitely one of the best wing backs at the moment. Definitely. He's just going through a hard time at the moment. I think a lot of footballers go through a lot of hard times. Liverpool as a whole are going through a hard time. But they'll come through it because they're a good team and they've got players that are stupid good. So
a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Next thing what I was asking, do you think when you look at like the things what has happened, so do you think that you have got a fair chance to show your own skills as a footballer
here
as a pro footballer, as in England also?
Have I or will I?
Have you?
Probably not. No. A lot of my game is based off fitness. If I'm really fit, you'll see the best out of me. If I'm not so fit, you'll see maybe 60% of me. Yimi at the moment is getting me fit. He's making sure I'm running. He's making sure I can do the running, like constant running that I need to do. I know I need to do it. And that's why it's good that I'm here, because after this, I'm probably just going to crash because I'm like really tired. But he's got me doing things that I should have been doing a lot more at other places. And also, if you don't play, then it's hard to get your fitness right for on the match day anyway. So hopefully I can get a run of games here, show what I can do, because I haven't showed what I can do anywhere else.
I think you answered this already a bit, but your first impression about Finland, you said that it's a lot calmer here than what you are used to. Have you had a chance to experience any like really typical Finnish things like winter swimming, sauna, northern lights?
There's been a few times where they've tried to get me in the sauna. They say sauna, but it's like get in that cold pool and swim, and that's not me. I don't do that. So I haven't experienced it yet. But Johan, the physio, showed me a few pictures and stuff, and it just looks mental. Like people driving on lakes that are ice. It's mental. I've never seen it before ever. Even when I first came here, I was on a flight, obviously by myself, and I just left England. England's just wet, probably like 8 to 10 degrees. I came here, it was like 4-5, and I looked outside. I was like, "Is that snow?" The whole of the runway white, all the hills and the trees were just white, and I was like, "What's going on here?" Then I went to the hotel, went to the train station the next day to come to Jakobstad, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The snow was about as big as this table. I even made a mistake coming here. I made a mistake coming here when I left the gym, and across from the gym is like a supermarket.
Yeah.
And I went so the supermarket is literally like across the road, literally, but you have to go all the way around.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going all the way around. This is long. I've just finished this gym session. It's hard. Like I'm not going all the way around. So I tried to go over the snow. My whole leg plummeted into the ground. I'm looking for my shoe, hopping around on one leg. But yeah, it's a different way of life here. But definitely, but I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So your first reaction about moving to a small town in Finland, how did it feel?
When I first came here, it was strange. Like not because everyone was speaking a different language, but because not many people was around. I'm just used to people. Even in England right now, even though they've got restrictions, like there's still a lot of people in queues at shops. There's still a lot of people just walking around, running. It's just like, it's always people. When you come here sometimes, you go out at the right time, you'll see maybe one person on your walk, and that's it. So, it's strange that,
Yeah, it's quiet normally as well, but now it's even more extreme.
Yeah.
How did you ended up in Finland and Jaro? How everything happened?
So, I said to my dad, I was like, listen, from Woking, I said to my dad, I'm either going to quit football or I need to move abroad. I'm not staying in England anymore. I'm not doing it. And he was like, okay. So from there, he started to look abroad. He started to look at a lot of different countries. And then from then on, to be totally honest, I don't know what happened. He never really told me what happened. He just said, there's Finland here. And he talked about Jaro. And I was like, well, what sort of football do they play? And from there, he said, just watch YouTube clips. So I watched a few games and I liked the style of football. So I ended up coming here.
Yeah, this is your first time playing abroad. Have you had possibilities of going abroad before, or?
No, not really. If you say going abroad, I've gone from England to Wales, but that not like that, not like flying to a different part of the world.
Yeah.
If you look at like the video clips from YouTube, now Jaro has a different coach. Maybe the system is quite similar. Do you see that there are some changes from those clips what you saw to that thing what you are doing daily basis? I think especially from what I'm gathering from the players, I think the last coach was playing a lot more direct football, like not hoofing it long, but like it was more end to end, very much so, like an end to end game. Yemi likes it more controlled. He likes the ball played around, waiting for the right moment to then penetrate. But obviously he obviously likes a counter attack. If you can score, you can score. But if you can't, come back around and start playing again. And that's what he's trying to implement into the team right now. And we've obviously had a few pre-season games. I'm injured at the moment, but like he's trying to. We had just come from a meeting that he's trying to
perfect the system that he wants to play. So, yeah.
What type of injury do you have now?
Groin.
Okay.
Yeah. There's, it's just coming from almost doing nothing, and then doing something, that full on.
Yeah.
And then the last shot in training, I went to go take a shot and pulled my groin. Yeah. But it was mad how this came about, because it was that Yarrow were interested, and then because of the Brexit thing in England, it was hard to get in here.
Yeah.
I know a few players tried to get in and didn't succeed. Like, I think Sotelo might have been one of them players, and Toro was one of them players that was coming from. I feel sorry for them coming from Brazil and coming here, and then like the flight time must have been huge, and then not being turned down. But it was like hard to get in, and Frederick was telling me he was telling my dad it's like gonna be impossible to get him in here. Then like a week or two later, he said, I think we can get him in. So I've gone from just running on roads to, you're going to be training like soon. So, yeah.
When you look at the other players, what has been the most surprising thing in a team?
The standard of football. I knew the players would be good, but I didn't expect them to be as good as they are. So that's a good thing. The standard of training is very high. Possession is good. So the general ability in the team is a lot higher than what I expected. The general standard in Finland is a lot higher than what I expected, which is good, because I can definitely go back to England and say you need to give these Finnish people respect, because they're good, and especially a lot of English players feel like because they're English and the Premier League's in their bracket, they could be like, we're in the top sort of, but a lot of like this Finnish team would beat a lot of English teams, and the team we played 2 weeks ago, Coops.
Yeah, but they are a good Finnish team.
Very good.
Yeah.
But they challenge for Europa League, don't they?
Yeah.
So they're going to be, and they need to be good.
Yeah.
So, very good team.
And level of Finnish football has went up, especially the best teams and the best players are better than before, I think.
Yeah.
And you look at the national team, so it's the standard is getting higher, and of course then we have a Teemu Pukki.
You have played on several levels in England. How would you compare this with? Obviously, you haven't played that many games here, but how would you compare it on with the English levels?
I would say it's like they want, the way Finnish football is here is that they want to play at the same level as a high level team in England. So that a lot of lower league teams, they don't really play like so much. It's more like get the ball in the channel or get it up to a big striker and play off them. So I would say that like Yarrow want to play the same way as like a Premier League Championship side would. So yeah.
You mentioned that you should get it in the channel. I heard a funny story about, there's a Finnish player called Petri Pasanen who he played in Ajax and went to Portsmouth.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
So he tried to like play the ball to the midfield, and then I can't remember who the coach was. Probably Harry Redknapp or something. Put it in a fucking channel. So it was like a cultural shock for him. What would you do if you didn't play football?
To be honest, I don't like being told what to do, so I'd probably be doing something myself, like maybe doing property or something along them lines, where I decide what to do. I don't like being told like what to do at certain times unless it's football. Like I don't think I could work at like a 9-to-5 job just because of it would make me sad. It would make me down. It wouldn't. My whole life and personality wouldn't be the same. So if I was to do something else, it would probably be on my own back and do something like property.
Do we take it last question?
Yeah. I think don't have that much more.
Yeah. Other than Warzone, what are you doing on your free time?
Maybe talking with my girlfriend, or right now there's not a lot to do. Not a lot to do at all. Other than Warzone and talking with my girlfriend, I'm online. And even if I'm not playing Warzone, I'm online just talking. So,
what kind of hopes do you have to this season? If we are sitting here on next December and talking again and look it up after. So, what are those things that you would be happy if you get through the season?
I would like for Yarrow to get promoted. I know they came third last season. Yeah. The two other clubs above them went up. I know the second team plays the last team in the top division. So, but they went up. I want Yarrow to go up. I'm grateful for the chance they've given me. I'm grateful to be here because there's a lot of people in England too that they're stuck like how I was. So I'm grateful to be here. And I would like to play some games, a run of games, and show what I can do, and hopefully assist the team to get promotion, if not the championship.
Tyler Reid, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was really nice to have you here, and your story is really interesting, and it was really nice to hear what you had to say and tell things about the clubs you've been to, and because it's a quite different world to compare to what we are used to. So
yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.